Have you ever noticed how one conversation can completely challenge the story you've been hearing for years? Well, that's exactly what happened in a discussion that has been making waves online. A Nigerian man openly told his fellow Nigerians that they should stop calling South Africans xenophobic. Then, a white South African responded with his own perspective. And finally, a black South African explained why he believes the claim that black South Africans are afraid of white South Africans simply doesn't match what he has experienced. Three different people, three very different viewpoints, one conversation that's getting thousands of people talking. But before we break it down, let's listen to what the people had to say.
Nigerians, we should be the last people calling South Africa xenophobic people. We should be the last people. Should be the last people, including me. Including me. We are here pushing an agenda, making it seem that South Africa is xenophobic, but they are not. They are not. Let's speak the truth. I'm not going to follow the script anymore. Fuck the script. Fuck the script. Nigeria, they've been kidnapping in Nigeria constantly from the Islamic terrorist group. Kidnapping kids from school, their headmaster. Where's the energy? Nigerians, where's the energy? It's easy for us to be bashing South Africa, say they are xenophobic people, but where's the energy when it comes to the insecurity in Nigeria? We are so quiet. Why? 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 Come on now. I'm not following any script anymore. I hate to talk about politics, but fuck politics. I must speak the truth. I love football. Yes, I love football. I love to speak about football. But the hypocrisy is too much. And I have to call it out. Including me. We've made an agenda calling South Africa xenophobic, making it look like South Africa is the worst people. But the reality is not. It's not. Election is coming up. Nigerians, get your PVC. Let's fix Nigeria. Enough is enough. We cannot be insulted around the world. Like our country, we cannot fix our country. Why? Why? I'm sick and tired of trying to defend Nigeria, but in reality, it's a lie. It's a lie. Little kids were being kidnapped in school. They have not been released even till today. And one will be here calling South Africa xenophobic. One will be here bashing South Africa all the time. Enough is enough. Let's stop lying to ourselves. Let's stop lying.
Nigerians, I want to give you a perspective. You come to a country, you take over an abandoned building, which you deemed abandoned. You force all the residents in that building out or to pay you rent, not the landlord, you. You threaten the landlord with violence so that you can take over this building. Eventually you do. You then bring one drug in called cat. You bring another drug in called cocaine. You bring another drug in called fentanyl. You bring another drug in called naupe, which is heroin. It's heroin cut down. You bring methamphetamine into this country. You supply anyone that wants a taste, even as young as 12 and 13. You create drug addicts through these young girls, and then when they owe you too much money, you tell them they can pay with their bodies. I've seen 13-year-old girls standing outside a Nigerian occupied building, selling her body, full of needle holes. And you have the audacity to come onto this app and try and make white people and black South Africans fight against each other so that you can pretend that you are victims. Zimbabweans, you keep that ZANU-PF in power. You. No one else. You. You chased out all the white farmers. Now you don't have food security in your country because all the land that was taken produced nothing. Nothing. You kept the dictator in power for 42 years just to replace him with another dictator. You, Zimbabweans. Zambians, Mozambicans, Nigerians, all the same in my eyes. And then you want to play the Eswatini and Lesotho people against us too. The problem is Nigerians and other black foreigners. We see Lesotho as part of our country because it doesn't make sense that a country is within a country. And Eswatini fought very, very, very hard for their land back against the apartheid regime. And they got it. The Kingdom of Eswatini used to be known as Swaziland. Swazi is one of our languages, official languages. Just saying. Maybe if you come to this country, learn about our history and learn about our different cultures and learn why we respect each other's cultures and languages so much as what we do. Enjoy your day.
Can I answer? There's a question I want to answer because that everyone keeps raising. People keep saying the thing about us being afraid of whites or not dealing with white people. Can I deal with that question?
Yeah, sure, you can, brother. Carry on.
So I want to ask, have you guys heard of Fees Must Fall?
No, we've not. Just tell us.
So there's Fees Must Fall, there's Roads Must Fall, and then we have the triple BEE, and then we also had the shutdown, the looting when the former president Zuma was locked up. That was 4 times that the country shut down, and we made it clear that we were fighting white monopoly at the time. With Fees Must Fall, there were slogans where they made it clear that we want the fees to drop and then we're coming for the land. With Roads Must Fall, we were bringing down colonial statues, all colonial statues in the country, starting with Cecil John Rhodes. And then with the Zuma thing, the people believed that Jacob Zuma, the former president, was a revolutionary, and so they shut the whole country down when he went to jail. And then with the triple BEE thing, Elon Musk tried to bring Starlink to South Africa, but he refused to comply with the laws of South Africa, which means that you are supposed to have a black business partner if you want to have any kind of business in the country. And so the country said no. If he doesn't comply with that, then he cannot do business in the country. That's why he started this whole rumor about the G site the fake G site that's going on, which is not going on. So that's how many times are we supposed to fight white monopoly until people realize that we're actually not afraid of these white folks. Now, the problem is every time we fight these white monopolists, every time we fight these white businesses, it is the illegal immigrants who take the jobs. They are the ones who say, no, we don't mind working for peanuts. We don't mind working with you calling us the K word, which is similar to the N word in America. I don't know if I can say it, so I'm not going to say it. But, they don't mind being called the K word. They don't mind being beaten up by a white man. South Africans do. We stand up when we're being called the K word, when we're being disrespected, when we're being paid less. We actually go out there and we boycott. But when we boycott, it is the illegals that take the businesses. So unless we deal with these illegal immigrants who ran away from the governments in their country, instead of solving their problems, they want to disrupt us whenever we fight white monopoly. So this idea that South Africans are scared of whites and we don't fight white monopoly is garbage. It's the biggest load of rubbish I ever heard in my life, and it has been proven over and over again. When we do fight white monopoly, nobody says anything, nobody flinches. But whenever we deal with illegal immigrants who disrupt us, whenever we fight white monopoly, then all of a sudden we're these xenophobic people. And again, one of the other South Africans mentioned that there are other African nationals that we don't have a problem with. I recently went to Lesotho because my grandmother on my mother's side is from Lesotho, so I have family there. I went to Lesotho. One of my Lesotho cousins said to me that he wants to come to South Africa and get himself a wife. I told him, yeah, you can totally come through and get us. It didn't even occur to me that I'm speaking to a foreigner and telling him that it's okay to come here and find himself a wife. Because South Africans consider Sotho people, Namibian people, Tswana people, and Swati people, they consider them South Africans. Not because they are neighbors. Zimbabweans are our neighbors too. We don't consider them South Africans. So are Mozambicans. We don't consider them South Africans. Why? Because of their behavior, because of how they behave. If you behave like us, we consider you one of us. We said the same thing to Kenyans. We said, look online how South Africans and Kenyans interact with each other. We call each other cousins. We celebrate each other and all those things. When you come to our country and you behave, South Africans don't even mind if you're illegal. Now, I'm against all illegal immigrants, whether they're from Lesotho, Namibia. I'm against all illegal immigration. I feel like a country should be sovereign and a country people should abide by the law when they come here. But I'm talking about the average South Africans. You know how many people from Swaziland, how many people from Namibia? I have friends from Namibia. They are here as South Africans. They are treated as South Africans by South Africans. Whenever they go online and we have debates about illegal immigrants, they talk like South Africans and they're not told to go back home. I told South Africans that I have a grandmother who's from Lesotho. Not a single one of them said that I'm half Kwerekwere or I'm half foreigner. But if I said that my grandmother was from Nigeria, that'd be a whole different story. It's because of the behavior, not because they are foreigners. Because we do have people from other countries that we've integrated with, and we don't even see the difference between them and us because they behave like South Africans and they respect people as South Africans. Now, somebody said something about South Africans go overseas. Well, when we go overseas, we go there legally. We abide by the law, and we don't go there to sell children. And that's another thing. Before I continue with that, that's another thing. People act like we are fighting Nigerians because they're taking our jobs and they're taking our women. Like I said, Sotho people come here and take jobs and women. Namibians come here and take jobs and women. The other people I mentioned, people from Botswana come here and take jobs and women. Nobody flinches. No South African. In fact, we encourage them. We say, no.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Now let's get back to the video. Let's get into it. The discussion started with a Nigerian man who decided he wasn't going to repeat what he called the usual script. He said Nigerians should actually be the last people accusing South Africans of being xenophobic. That immediately caught people's attention because it's not something you hear every day. He argued that while many Nigerians spend time criticizing South Africa, they often remain quiet about serious problems happening back home. He pointed to kidnappings in Nigeria, including school children being abducted by armed groups, and questioned why those issues don't receive the same level of outrage from Nigerians online. His message was simple. Instead of focusing all their energy on attacking another country, Nigerians should also focus on fixing problems inside Nigeria. He even encouraged Nigerians to participate in elections and help improve their own country, rather than constantly blaming others. Whether people agreed with him or not, one thing is certain: it took courage to express an opinion that many people knew would be unpopular. As expected, reactions poured in from every direction. Some praised him for speaking honestly. Others felt he was being unfair or oversimplifying a very complicated issue. And then, another voice entered the conversation. A white South African decided to respond. His message focused heavily on crime and illegal activities that he claimed involve some foreign criminal networks operating in South Africa. He spoke about abandoned buildings that have reportedly been occupied illegally in some cities. He also alleged that criminal groups have been involved in drug trafficking and exploiting vulnerable young people. Now it's important to separate two things here. Criminal activity by individuals is one issue. The nationality of those individuals is another. Law enforcement agencies investigate crimes committed by people, not entire nationalities. Millions of Nigerians living both inside and outside Nigeria have nothing to do with criminal organizations. Likewise, millions of South Africans reject criminal behavior, regardless of who commits it. Still, the speaker argued that criminal behavior by some foreign nationals has contributed to public frustration inside South Africa. He also criticized people who, in his view, try to create conflict between black and white South Africans while ignoring crime. His comments, like the Nigerian man's, generated strong reactions online. Some people agreed, others strongly disagreed. Then the conversation took another interesting turn. A black South African addressed a claim that often appears on social media. The claim that black South Africans are somehow afraid of white South Africans. His response was direct. He said history shows the opposite. He pointed to several major protest movements and political campaigns in democratic South Africa. He mentioned fees must fall, roads must fall, and broader political campaigns that challenged economic inequality and historical power structures. His argument was that South Africans have repeatedly organized protests, demonstrations, and campaigns involving powerful institutions and businesses. Because of that, he believes it doesn't make sense to describe black South Africans as people who are afraid to confront white economic power. He also discussed employment. According to him, during labor disputes, some employers have been able to replace striking workers with migrants willing to work under different conditions. He argued that this has created resentment among some South Africans, who feel that labor protests become less effective when replacement workers are available. This is one of the reasons he believes immigration has become such an emotional issue. He also made another interesting point. He said that in his own experience, many South Africans have close relationships with people from neighboring countries, such as Lesotho, Namibia, and Eswatini. He described cultural and family connections that cross modern borders. At the same time, he argued that South Africans' attitudes toward immigrants are often influenced more by behavior than nationality alone. Now, whether everyone agrees with that conclusion is another matter entirely. But that's the perspective he shared. This entire discussion highlights something important. Immigration, crime, unemployment, and national identity are incredibly complicated subjects. They're emotional, they're political, and they're deeply personal for many people. It's also worth remembering that social media conversations usually feature individuals sharing personal opinions. Those opinions do not automatically represent entire countries or entire populations. South Africa has more than 60 million people. Nigeria has well over 200 million. No single person can speak for everyone. One Nigerian cannot represent all Nigerians. One South African cannot represent every South African. That's why it's important to listen carefully, separate facts from opinions, and avoid judging millions of people based on a handful of voices online. Another thing this discussion reminds us is that criticism can come from inside a community as well as outside it. The Nigerian speaker wasn't attacking South Africa. He was challenging fellow Nigerians to focus on improving Nigeria. The white South African focused on crime and public safety. The black South African focused on immigration, labor issues, and South African political history. Different experiences, different priorities, different conclusions, and that's exactly why conversations like these become so popular. People are trying to understand complicated issues through different perspectives. Whether you agree with every point made in the discussion or disagree with most of it, one thing is clear. These conversations reveal just how connected African countries have become. Migration, trade, employment, politics, and culture all cross borders. The challenges facing one country often affect its neighbors as well. Perhaps the biggest lesson isn't about who won the debate. It's about the importance of having difficult conversations without immediately dismissing people simply because they have a different viewpoint. Real solutions rarely come from shouting. They usually come from listening, questioning, and debating respectfully. Now it's your turn. What do you think about the different perspectives shared in this discussion? Did the Nigerian man raise valid concerns? Do you agree with the responses from the South African speakers? Or do you see the situation differently? Share your thoughts in the comments below, but remember to keep the discussion respectful. If you enjoyed this video and want more balanced conversations about what's happening across Africa, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next discussion. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.